o'clock on the East Coast. Real America's Voice on a Thursday, November 7th. November 7th, from Studio 6B. Oh, God, we're off the rails already. Vinnie Mac is in the house.
Well, Rick is shaving right now. He had to turn away from the microphone for a second. But wait till he comes back. You're going to see a clean shaven Rick. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, Vinnie Mac. Good for you. Good to be in here. Rick Delgado, how are you?
I am clean shaven, my friend. How are you?
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Oh my God.
Man.
I feel, it's like a baby's behind.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
It smells nice. It feels nice and rubbery.
Yeah.
Not like that. I was getting, I had some allergies the other day, so it was all gacked up and hard. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I hated it. Now I'm fresh and clean, and there you go. I feel wonderful.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
I like your shirt. Please stop talking.
Yes.
You don't follow your own advice on that, do you?
Obviously,
not for me.
and obviously you don't either.
Are you going to turn towards me every time you want to give me a message? Please stop talking.
Oh my goodness, what a day. What a day.
So I was telling Delgado and Vinnie Mac here just before we came on. So I guess because of the no sleep really from Tuesday into Wednesday morning, then I streamed Wednesday morning in the morning show. So I was like delusional last night and tired by the time we got done. And I don't know what happened, but I decided to go on TikTok and Instagram because I had seen all of these. Matt Walsh had posted a couple of them. Ben Shapiro had posted a couple of these wacky left liberal videos about how confident they were going into Tuesday. And, of course, on these algorithms, once you start watching one or two of those, it'll start feeding you like a bunch of them. I started watching a bunch of these. Oh, Kamala's, she's winning. Attention, MAGA folks. Just want to let you know. So I'm going through these videos, and I wanted to go into the comments on every one of them. And so you hit comment. And, of course, all the trolls in the world are already beat me to it. And all the comments are like, update, question mark. How's this going? Question mark. All these. And so I just started adding to them. And I don't know if I was just because I was delusional, but I was by myself in the room going into these videos and typing updates, question mark. And I was laughing so hard. By myself. I must have looked like I belonged in a rubber room if you had a camera on me.
Sometimes you just need to do that. You know, it's a good release, right? A lot of safe rooms, by the way.
It's like when Bart Simpson was calling all the places, like the bowling alley. Hey, do you have 12-pound balls? That's what you were doing last night to them. You were just trolling them with stupid questions.
There's this one Dr. Arlene who posted about her going to the liquor store to buy champagne. And the guy behind the counter said to her, what's the champagne for? And she said, I told him, I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And she goes, he kind of looked at me. And I said, listen, pal, I'm a political analyst. And I'm telling you, women are coming out to vote like we've never seen before. And she goes, and I kind of knew by the way he looked at me who he had voted for. And she's laughing on the camera and she's going, and I told him, you wasted your vote. And she starts laughing and she says, and I took my champagne and I went home. So I was like, oh, can't wait for the update on this video, please, question mark. And then of course you go to the beginning of her, the most recent thing she posted, it was like,
she went from champagne to tequila, I believe, really quickly.
But man, was I amusing myself last night. Like I was just every one of them. Man, there's some wise asses in the comments that were so funny.
I love doing that stuff, especially
funny.
especially with stuff like that where it doesn't even matter if nobody's around. You find yourself hilarious at that moment. It's just the funniest thing in the world, and you're like, I wish somebody could see this.
I was bawled over in tears.
I can't tell you how many people, though, after the election, binge watched CNN and MSNBC. Yes. And I was one of them, binge watching it. So getting a lot of laughs watching the hysteria that's going on, and then what you did last night, just piles on that. But I got messages from several friends of mine, like, I've been watching MSNBC all day, and it's just hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that they're saying.
We watched The View live together Wednesday morning on my morning stream.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I started it at 10 instead of like a little earlier because I wanted to be on for 11.
Did you need any therapy, or are you okay after that?
No, yeah. It was actually it wasn't as weeping as I was hoping for. We were taking over-under bets on whether to be actual physical tears running down anyone's face.
You mean Jimmy Kimmel cried more than anyone on The View? Is that what you're saying?
Did he cry?
Oh, you didn't see it?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my Lord, Jimmy Kimmel cried.
Yeah.
He cried.
I'm on like overload. I'm on troll overload right now from last night, so I don't know if I can take any more.
You want to see it?
Well, yeah, I do.
Of course you do.
I
Here we
do
go.
definitely want to see it.
All right, here's cut number 2. Here's Jimmy Kimmel, raging Hollywood liberal, crying during his opening monologue.
Come on.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go.
There it is.
For healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine,
Aaron,
for NATO, for NATO. And
He's lumping in poor people and NATO in the same group and crying about it. This is the guy, and I think it's cut number 3, right, Aaron? From the Man Show. From the Man Show. Remember the Man Show on Comedy Central?
It was a great show.
The Man Show.
Great show.
Which was a lot of laughs.
Can't have a title like that.
A lot
That's
of
sexist.
A lot of stupid stuff, stupid funny stuff. This is the same guy who did this. He was crying last night. He used to do stuff like this, which was funny.
tell us what you think of the statue. I mean,
Who's
do you
that?
think that she's...
That's Jimmy
Do you
Kimmel.
think that... I mean, do you think that she's attractive or not? Take another look at it.
What a dirtbag.
Yeah, that's what the Man Show used to be, and that's what he came up with.
Hey, that's
These
what's
days,
happening in Hollywood, though. They're all crying like this.
These days, he's a crier.
I mean, who
crier.
wrote all that stuff? They were like, okay, let's just take every bullet point that the media talked about and we'll throw it into one monologue. It was a bad night for like Ben on Facebook. Just list everything.
Exactly. Hit the button more. and it
Social
just goes.
Security, poor people. Oh my God, women,
For the air, for water.
healthcare. Jimmy, get a grip. Please get a grip. And the rest of you, get a grip.
All of Hollywood's melting down. I mean, all these actors. I think, trying to think of the actress, Leah Thompson. She was married to, what's his name? The guy in the Reagan movie. Who's the guy in the Reagan movie? You don't know the guy in the Reagan movie?
Kevin Klein? No.
not Kevin Klein.
Not Kevin Klein.
Randy Quaid. No,
Randy Quaid.
no,
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
sorry.
Quaid. She was married to Dennis Quaid, and she's like, she's crying because she can't believe what happened to him because he supported Trump. And it's across the board. This is why the media is so upside down right now in the world. Hollywood in general. It's why the movies and TV shows we see are, still woked up because they're all woked up.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy's
as we said yesterday, and I'm sure you noticed this too, Vin, as you're spending time on social media the last couple of days.
Thank you.
It's not even. I mean, yes, of course they complain about Trump, but really the lefties are all. We're the bad. It's we're the America as a whole. It's the makeup of America that's
Right.
bad. It's us bad people that make up America. All of us racists and homophobes and sexists and everything else. Those are the ones that really are taking the ire of all the crazy lunatics on the left. It's not necessarily. It's not all Trump. Yeah, they mix in there. How do you vote for this guy? But it's like, oh, we have a sexism problem in America. We have a misogyny problem in America. We just have a this problem in America, that problem in America. It's all about America and the people of America more than it actually is him directly.
They just use those buzzwords, though. If you look at the stats, and we'll talk about them at some point, I'm sure, during the show, the stats of the black men who voted, the millennials that voted, can you believe those numbers? The millennial votes were fantastic. Hispanics, so on and so forth, minorities in general. I mean, they all flipped for Trump. This was a melting pot. Women, etc. It was a melting pot of voters. So to watch them, this is what I found so interesting watching MSNBC almost nonstop the last day and a half, knowing that we basically had a melting pot here. This was the Clinton voters, okay? Bill Clinton. This was the Bill Clinton voters that basically turned and now voted for Trump. And here's the same mainstream media calling all of them. Well, listen, we're used to it. We've been MAGA voters for a while, right? We're used to being abused by these people, but this is now mainstream. This is mainstream United States of America that they're basically saying are misogynist, are racist, are sexist, mainstream stuff. I mean, it has no value anymore, what they're saying. You know, they've just overplayed a hand so strong because the data now completely flips that. It's not just a bunch of older white guys voting for Trump. Yeah. You know, it's a broad mix of people with this country.
And the funny thing is, you know, like you said, it's a broad mix, but they'll still try and blame every single segment of that. We heard them breaking that down last night. But the one problem we don't have, Damon, and maybe you came across this in your TikTok meanderings or Instagram meanderings. This one qualifies as today my favorite liberal meltdown mashup of the day. This is by Stephen Hilton on X. This is cut number 5. I think you'll enjoy this one if you haven't seen it already. Here we go. Check this out.
If you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands. If you've lost faith in humanity, and this is your villain origin story, if you've lost faith in humanity, clap your hands.
This is perfect. What is wrong with these people?
So I thought I'd throw that in.
What is wrong with these people?
Who are these people? Oh my goodness! All I can say is paging Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, pickup line 5. Paging Mark Cuban. Susan Wiles is now the White House chief of staff. A woman.
No, wait a second.
A woman.
Yeah, it can't be.
I can't. Shocking.
Strong woman, Susie Wiles, who I actually put in my post when I replied to Mark Cuban about all the strong women that have been around President Trump for years. She was one of them. Now chief of staff appointed.
No.
I can't believe that.
I've been trying to call Mark Cuban all day.
That's fake news.
That is. That guy
he's
about
officially out, Vin, if you know. I'm out. Yeah, he's out now. He's out for good.
Well, you know, there's still the Mark Cuban, Rachel Maddow comparison that's getting a lot of steam.
Actually, he announced.
Cuban actually on X said, you know, congratulations, Donald Trump, blah, 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 we were wrong, whatever, you know, whatever. He didn't go on there crying and like Jimmy Kimmel or try to blame some group of people. He just at least went on and tucked his head between his legs and went his merry way, at least for now.
Yeah. You know what, Mark? Shut up.
Exactly.
Simple as that, okay?
Just go back and do what you do and leave the politics to other people.
I have liked Mark Cuban, by the way, over the years.
Why?
I thought he was a pretty bright guy. I liked him owning the Dallas Mavericks. I've liked him. I have no reason to dislike him. I like him on Shark Tank.
And now I like him. I like him as Rachel Maddow now.
Yeah, now I like him much better as Rachel Maddow. Very pretty.
All right, 13 past the hour. Just getting started on a Thursday night. If you're in the chat, stay with us. Hit the like, subscribe, follow us on all our social media. We'll stay with you during the commercial break right here. 13 past the hour. We're back right after this. Oh, here she is. So this is her. You want to see the one?
Put her up.
You want to see the one that when she went to...
Okay. Which one is it?
Yeah. I got to find the one where
she went but she looks the part, by the way, too. I don't want to stereotype here, but she does look the part.
She looks like an old chicken.
She looks like Rachel Maddow, like 20 years from now. And that's not a compliment. Could be a compliment, but it's not a compliment.
Oh, I think she took it down.
Ooh. I would take it down. Find champagne, cupcakes, and everything else to celebrate. And 10 minutes
I think your
later,
comment put her over the edge, David.
Yeah, you might have ruined her day. That is weird. Wacky stuff.
We're live in the chat. Slick Rick is here. Hello,
What's up, Rick?
Slickness.
Brother.
Do you notice anything?
What the hell is there to notice here? Oh, you cut. Yeah, you're nice. My friend Nancy, who watched
Here's
the
one
show.
I missed. She said,
every
Iowa's
night.
going blue.
She said, Rick's got to shave that thing. Shave it off.
Told you.
I was right. Hello. Much better, Delgado. It's a much
Yeah,
better
right?
Look. Yeah.
So much better.
You just took 30
Thing was
years
just
off your face.
You know,
There was
this
a rat's nest on
Yep.
my face.
Yeah, apparently.
was that your election?
Yeah,
you know,
that was
hockey
my
beard?
election.
I didn't know the
I
background.
said
You
it-
never explained the background.
I
to
said
that.
it as a goof.
He did.
Yeah.
So maybe I
One
wasn't
night on the
in
show.
studio then.
It was a show, probably a show you weren't on. He
Yeah,
did.
with Kevin.
Slickster's in the house.
Yes,
And,
sir.
What's going on?
Reporting to duty.
And I said I'd do it.
I just
and,
landed from London. No,
Matter of fact, we have video of people celebrating in London.
yeah, I'm sure you do.
Hello.
I have
Slick,
fa-
did you see that Prince's
I have
sister
fans
died?
there. Yes, Taika.
You did, okay.
I knew her. I knew Taika. I knew her son, president. I could show you pictures. I actually, he waits for me to come to Paisley Park. He's a great kid. That was her son. Her
Meg
youngest son.
Ryan was married to Dennis Quaid, someone
Yes.
said? Do we have
Meg
that?
Ryan
That's
and
Meg
Leah
Ryan.
Thompson.
Yeah,
He's had
okay.
quite a few wives. So
Okay.
Dennis is not very shy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, the Reagan movie is excellent. I recommend seeing it. Dennis Quaid does a fantastic job if you haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it yet.
It's a good movie, and Ronnie had quite the life. It's interesting from that standpoint. His path as part of the Democratic Party, as governor of California, and then as an actor, and of course into the presidency. I mean,
Well, he was also president of the Actors Union, too.
Screen Actors Guild.
Screen Actors Guild,
He was
SAG.
president there.
Win one for the Gipper.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, 2 days removed from the election of Donald J. Trump, 47th President of the United States. Man, still feels good, huh? Still feels good right now.
Still pinching on
Oh,
himself.
yeah.
Well, Damon, you know that Ann Seltzer is still looking through data. You know, she's still checking and double checking your data.
Ann Seltzer will be collecting tickets at Trump's Iowa fair that he announced yesterday. That'll be her new job because she'll maybe be better at that than she is. I know she's the gold standard of polling. Don't everybody get mad.
Yeah, well.
But man, you can't miss by more than she missed, and it's a miss that almost is like, I don't know if that's just a miss or that was some plan to really miss on purpose and hope to change some votes or something, because that's, I mean, Harris +3 and he wins it by 14 when Emerson had him +10 earlier in the day. I mean, come on. I mean, missing is one thing, okay, we had him only +5. Harris +3?
Let me recheck my data, please. Thank you.
What exactly, like how different can you do it to end up with that outcome?
Especially in Iowa, and I think the answer to this is pretty obvious. It was, a calling card to try and get people to think that she's going to win and to
Right.
vote
Yeah.
and to discourage Trump voters. Oh my God, he's going to lose Iowa. I mean, to me, it looks
Exactly.
like all of that. I do not put anything past these people, although shenanigans were at a minimum. Our team, Lara Trump and the rest of them did a great job. Shenanigans at a minimum, but we're still missing like 12 million votes.
No, more than that.
More than that.
More than
How
that.
much do you calculate?
Way more. I think it's like 20 million.
Well, hang on, let me check my data. Let me just check
Well,
my
let
data
me,
on that if I can.
Please.
It tells you, it's give you a little idea of where I'm at in my life today and how much
Okay.
I'm still into the election. Here's what I did today. You can put this up, Aaron. I put it on Twitter, on X. I went through the states that Biden won, all the states that Biden won, all the blue from 2020. And I went over then to this year, and I got the numbers of what she got in the same states and what the outcome was. And you can take a look at this. I'm not going to go through each one, but you can see obviously Nevada lost, Arizona lost, where Biden won, Wisconsin lost, where Biden won, Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania, the six big swingers, she lost. But just in these states, just in the Biden states alone, 53,529,000 for Biden. He won all of them. She lost the big six, 42,776,000. So she was 11 million votes less and lost all 6 swing states. In just the Biden winning states, I didn't even do all 50. So I don't know how much less she got in places like Florida and all the other red states. I did just the states that Biden won. I think it was 29 of them. He had 53.5 million votes in the 29 states he won. Same states, she lost 6 of them, the big 6, and only had 42,776,000.
Yeah, you want to see the big number? Scroll it back to California there.
Yes.
Look at that number in California. You're telling me that they are missing 6 million people?
There's
who
no
voted?
way. There is no way.
No,
11,110,000.
Yeah.
She got 5,750,000.
And I bet if you go back to,
And again,
I don't know.
Didn't affect the outcome of the state. They both
Right.
won it.
Yeah.
But if you go back to like 2016 and 2012, you'll probably see that number, kind of matching Harris. You won't see it matching Biden's 2020 number.
Definitely not. But I'm looking
But that's
at
the
2020.
anomaly.
To me, 2020 is the thing we all should be looking at for a number of reasons. One, the left is going hysterical now about, oh yeah, now it's a fair election. Trump won. It's all fair. And I still come back to the fact of now you say 20 million votes.
25 million votes, actually.
25 million votes.
25 million votes. Here's the breakdown,
That's
real
an
quick.
astonishing number. Though.
Yeah, it's the anomaly. It's what they said could never happen. It happened. 2004, 121 million votes were cast across the country. In 2008, 129 million votes were cast around the country. 2012. Now remember, 2008, kind of a bigger turnout. Obama's first term.
Clinton got 8.7 million in California in 16. By the way,
2012, 126 million.
Right. Those were big.
Those were big.
Yeah.
2016, 128 million across the country. In 2024, just last 2 days ago, 129 million. So still in that area in the 120s. 2020, 155.5 million votes were cast. You're trying to tell me that nothing weird happened that day?
well, but a lot of people didn't get up and go somewhere to vote.
Was mail-in voting. That the point is that if it was mail-in voting, the way they handled the election, let's just give them the benefit of doubt. Let's say it was 10 million more votes than 20 million, right? Or 25 million that you're saying?
Right. It's
just to
25.
see even make it more conservative. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it was the difference in the election. That's the reality of this. So it walks like a duck. It quacks like a duck. It looks like something quite nefarious happened. For all those on the left that are crying right now about, oh, now it's fair. All you Trumpers, all you now it's fair. It's like, hey, just do the math.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just math.
And even some on the left looking at this number, one guy responded to it. This guy, Damaged Phantom 83, responding to this posting by Davis, says, "Damn, y'all, maybe we did steal the election in 2020." Because you look at that number and it don't make sense. And you remember, I remember because we were talking about it. How did you have counties and districts and all these places over the 100%?
That was regular,
mark.
By the way.
Over 100% of the people voted. That's an impossibility.
Well, if you recall, the biggest difference in the election this year, in my view, was the staffing that Lara Trump and the rest of the team put together, right? We saw amazing things, and we saw real-time things. In 2020, we really saw none of that. They weren't able to challenge any of this stuff. They kept people out. They didn't do any of this stuff. And then you get 25 million more votes. I mean, it's anyhow, it's obvious to me. I don't want to get all conspiracy theory on that, but it does look quite telling.
Look at the New York and New Jersey number. Again, didn't affect the outcome. They both won it. But New Jersey, 5.2 million for Biden, 4.3 million for her. Jersey, 2.6 million for Biden, 2.1 million for her. 500,000 difference in New Jersey and almost 1 million short in New York.
I know a few people that didn't even bother voting this year.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, because they knew it was going to swing Dem in New York. They didn't think that it was going to change, but they didn't want to actively vote for her.
No, that's
so they didn't.
sad.
Right, but do you think 5 million people in California did that?
I don't think there's a chance.
I don't know.
California's
That one
too on
seems
fire.
off because I think that the highest number I've found in previous election has been 8 million votes for a winner.
Clinton got 8.7.
Clinton had 8 million. Obama had 8 million.
Yeah,
That's a
Biden got
big
11.
It doesn't make sense. They were hysterical behind her. Hysterical. These rallies that she had, all the celebrities in California in particular, But this is all about the swing states and the difference in votes in the swing states. I'm not really care about California.
And when you look at the fact that Trump expanded the base, or you could say expanded the party, I should say, and to still have 30 million or 25 million less votes overall.
You know, it's a great point on the expanding the party, because that is, to me, that is the most important thing that's going to change the trajectory of this country over the next 8, maybe 12 years. Because the Latino vote's now up at 45%. 45%.
Yeah.
A staggering number. The number I was most concerned with, I think we talked about this a little briefly before, were the young voters. I really felt, look at what we see on TV all the time. These young voters not letting conservative speakers speak in colleges, and they got safe rooms and all this nonsense. Well, you know what? It was 42% of the vote.
Yeah. And
that's a huge number.
And you know what? When you talk about them not letting them speak, you started to see that change when Charlie Kirk started doing all his stuff.
Charlie Kirk was fantastic.
And the liberal wacko student would be standing around there, but all around that person would be the conservative students.
Yeah.
So, you know what? It's a big movement, and I think it's going to continue on. He's been doing great work for it.
Very good.
Great thing.
26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll talk more about the election. We'll do some sports and other news as well on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice. We're back right after this.
So, do you know who Susie Wiles' father is?
I do. Summerall, right?
At Summerall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Yes.
I just found that out. Not that means anything, but it's kind of cool, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is cool. And, he wanted to bring her on stage, when we were doing the show on election night, and she didn't want the notoriety. She had someone else speak. And I liked that. I like that because it just shows she's, quite pure, in what she's doing.
I was trying to think, has there ever been a campaign manager that became chief of staff for a president?
Yeah, at first, who was it? Corey Lewandowski in 2016, 2017. I believe he was
the
chief
first
of
one?
He was the campaign manager and then went into chief of staff, but I think he stepped away pretty quickly.
No, Reince Priebus was.
I know Reince Priebus was picked, but I think Lewandowski was also in that position for a short period of time.
Yeah. And he's surrounding himself with women. How original, right?
Yeah, we just talked about that.
No, I missed that part. Yeah. My wife sent me a text. She goes, "Look who's going to be the new chief of staff, and it's a woman. What do you know?" She's right.
It's always irony. They just say it, and then boom.
Boom. As the president delivers.
Although I'm catching flack there, because I like Mark Cuban. I used to like Mark Cuban.
Oh, Cuban, forget.
Used to like Mark Cuban. Let's go back.
He lost his moral compass many moons ago.
I knew Mark Cuban back when he had broadband TV. He was an innovator.
He was
frankly.
a bright guy.
Give the guy credit.
He got real stupid.
He created the first streaming apparatus, I'm going to call it, because it really didn't work that well. But he created the first streaming thing, sold it for a huge amount of money, and he's been an investor ever since.
Can I have some audio and some video here while we're in the commercial? Thank you.
Did you find a good one?
Hey, Kamala, what are we going to say to Donald Trump in November?
I saw this one.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Hello, motherfucker.
Hey, Kamala, what are we going to say to Donald Trump
I don't think
in
we
November?
can play that one.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. Hello, motherfucker.
Hey,
Oh, God. You ever seen the one? You know what they're using a lot? The little kid goes around on, I think it's more on TikTok. It was a kid who goes, bullshit. Bullshit. They've been putting him at the end of a lot of these lefties going,
Yeah,
we're going to win. We're going to.
There was a good one I was going to send, but it was it had the little kid in it, and I don't want to get rid of the little kid, so I didn't send it.
See? My friend Nancy, she says, Delgado looks much better.
See?
Yeah, we got a lot of Delgado looks 6 years younger.
My friend that watched.
30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We'll do news and sports here in just 1 second. But President Trump put out another video. I suspect we're going to get at least one a day, or if not a couple a week, as we start to get rolling out here with the plan. Susie Wiles, we know, Chief of Staff, one of the big first appointments from the president. President also put a video out today about how he wants to handle the deep state. And this is getting into what we talked about last night, some of the most important picks he's going to make. Attorney General will be at the top of the list. Boy. Let's listen to what the president had to say today.
I plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption, and there are plenty of them. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy.
2 days in.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Coming out swinging. That's what we talked about this yesterday. There ain't no funny business going to happen.
Nope.
Yeah. It's not happening this time.
No prisoners. No prisoners.
It's not happening.
Every point he touched on. Every point. I don't think he missed anything.
Every single person who has lived through this 4 years is standing behind this man, waiting for him to turn around and give directions. And they all know where all the sleazeballs are, where all the bodies are buried, where all the problems are, how to attack them, what angles to come from, who's going to be it, how they're going to do it. There's zero, zippo, no learning curve. None.
Let's hope.
No learning curve. And there's going to be no waiting for Mitch McConnell in the Senate and Chuck Schumer and all of this to get people appointed and approved and through. And speaking of that, if John Thune, Barrasso, and Rick Scott are our only choices in the Senate, then President Trump needs to get behind Rick Scott. Yeah. Would he be my first choice? Probably not. But he is a hell of a lot better than any of these morons that used to stand behind McConnell for all these years. Yeah. And allowed him to do the damage he's done. So if the choice is two McConnellites or Rick Scott,
I'll take Rick Scott.
Let's go Rick Scott, and the president should come out in support of him, like immediately, because we're going to be no better in the Senate than we've been if we get somebody who's been standing behind Marblemouth just going, doing this for 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
That video, by the way, wow. That's a powerful video.
That
video should be seen. They should show that video everywhere they can. More and more people need to see that. We need to play it again and again and again, because that's the most powerful thing I've seen any president come out with ever who's been elected.
Well, he's done that before. He's talked about the term limits, but that's going to be the one that's going to be toughest to go, because let's face it, you'd have to have the people that he wants to be kicked out after a certain time vote against their own interests. They usually don't do that. But hopefully, you know what, and it draws me back to something that Trump said when he mentioned Matt Gaetz, and he said we have a little secret for them, for the House. I don't know what that means. I still have that sitting in my head, like what were they talking about? What were they alluding to? I don't know. And I'm anxious to see what that is when it comes down the pike. One more thing though, Damon. right in line with what this video was talking about on how he wants to come at the deep state and start dismantling and start, getting rid of all the corruption. It's also going to be taking aim at certain other people around the country. Mike Davis had a specific warning. I don't know. Did you see that where he warned New York State Attorney General Letitia James?
Who did?
Mike Davis.
I did not.
He threw down on her. This is cut number 1. Check it out for yourself. Here's Mike Davis warning Letitia James after her extremely threatening press conference yesterday. Check this out.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
There you have it. Woof. Throwing it down.
Part of those scare tactics, though.
Think about how you feel, and then take a second and let us know.
Harry, get your. I heard the Harry, get your.
Oh man! But the governor of New York was with her.
Yeah.
Doing that, and then you see what Newsom's trying to do. They're trying to put these, Trump protection policies. I don't know who they're fooling. I guess they're just trying to appease to their
They're all S in
hardcore
a brick.
bases.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
That's what they're doing. They're all SH in a brick. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, totally.
Yes, that's for sure.
It could be that they made an appearance at a Diddy party they don't want anybody to know about. I don't know.
You think?
Term limits are important, Rick. Term limits are an important thing. I think you made a very valid point of how hard it's going to be to pass it, but Trump is the kind of leader that's going to put them on the spot. Who's not interested in passing this and why?
Right.
Why won't you want to pass this? Tell me. I need a good reason.
Or better yet, put them on the spot, put them in front of a camera.
Well, there you go.
And tell the American people why you think you should be voted in again and again and again when you fail at your job continuously.
Well, Nancy Pelosi got reelected.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Nadler got reelected. I mean, you kidding? That guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been watching The Penguin on HBO, and I keep thinking of Jerry Nadler when I see it.
AOC?
AOC got reelected.
You could go down the list of
She
head
won
shakers of how these people get any votes.
Crazy.
But then you spend a night on TikTok like I did. You'll see how they get votes. Slick, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell, MyPillow. LFS6B is the code to use as you start your holiday shopping at MyPillow. We appreciate it if you use it. LFS6B, boy, we just did a Trump 47 shirt today. It's fire. Fire Trump 47 shirt coming soon.
All right.
We may wait for the inauguration to drop it. I don't know.
Really?
We'll see.
What about the holidays?
How about us?
I know. It's
Don't
so
waste
good,
the
though. It's
holidays
so
for these
good.
people.
How about a couple over
Come
here?
on.
We'll see. All right, let's do some sports. Like,
Gonna
what's
shirt
going on?
that issue. All right, Big D, here we go. Well, we got Thursday Night Football. Aaron and I didn't make our pick, but we already talked about it in the control room beforehand. We both are on the same team, so I'm going to throw it to Aaron. We want to start our odds makers tonight. Aaron and I just go tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll have Delgado joining us on odds makers as a fill-in for one of our viewers that couldn't make it. We'll get back to our regular viewers next Friday, but Delgado will be joining us. So, Aaron, you want to hit the odds makers and tell us who you have tonight on Thursday Night Football, M&T Bank
Who's
Stadium.
playing?
We got the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens are a 5.5-point favorite and trail 7-0. Chase Brown just scored a 1-yard touchdown run, believe it or not, and they lead 7-0 Cincinnati on the board first. But Aaron, who do you have tonight?
I'm going to go with the Ravens.
Yeah. You got
That's
it. Me too. I'm going to go with the Ravens too. Laying the 5.5, which means actually now they're 12.5 because they just gave up 7. But I think Lamar Jackson will get it together, and they'll come back faster than the Maryland Electoral College vote call. And they'll be back in no time. So don't worry about it. You know how quickly,
agree.
You know how quick they called Maryland the other night, right? Maryland wins. Right? That was so quick.
I'm not too convinced of Aaron's commitment to the Ravens here on this pick.
Oh.
Aaron, you there?
Yes.
She's there.
Okay. Oh, you're
I
committed.
don't have notes today.
She was dancing like Ray Lewis in the hallway before. She's on it. Don't stop. Come on now. Let's go NHL action. Couple of scores right now. Bruins up in Boston leading the Flames 3-1. Minute and a half there to go in the second period. The Islanders, believe it or not, up 2-0 over Ottawa. 7 seconds to go in the second period. They'll see how hopefully they can hold on there. Panthers 4-1 over the Predators. 44 seconds to go there in the second. End of 2. We got the Devils in Jersey. 3-1 over Montreal. Sabres bombing, and I mean bombing the Rangers in MAGA Square Garden. 6-0. Looks like
Yikes.
the Rangers are 6 feet under right now. No, 5 zip now.
MAGA Square Garden, man.
Amazing. They just took a score off the board. It was 6-0. Now it's 5-0. But it's a minute 14 to go in MAGA Square Garden there. Base save was over the Rangers there. Penguins right now trail the Hurricanes 4-0 down in Carolina, end of 2. Also in the second, Lightning blanking the Flyers 1-0. Utah Hockey Club continues to roll 1-0 over Sounds Like the Blues in St. Louis 1-0 244 first in the first there. Stars down in Dallas over the Blackhawks 1-0 just about a half a minute to go there in the first period, and also just at the end of the first there, the Jets over the Avalanche 1-0. Canucks out in LA taking on the Kings at 10:30, and the Wild are up in San Jose. Do you know the way? 10:30 is the puck drop there as well. NBA action, just a couple of games going on tonight. The Bulls in Chicago up 43-31 over the Timberwolves. 9 to go there in the second period. Bucks and Jazz tied at 31, 11 to go there in the second as well. And last but not least in the second period, Trailblazers, well, they trail the Spurs. 38-29, 10:43 to go there. And we're just about through sports. I'll come up with a little story, a couple of stories there relating to the president and what's going on in the sports world, still intertwining with the political, the election. So that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
All right, live from Studio 6B, we'll do some more news and some more videos. President Trump, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance spoke to Tucker Carlson about what these first months will look like. We'll get to that when we get back as well. We're live in the chat, 44 past the hour.
What is all this stuff?
Oh, yeah, we got to, we acknowledge this person, but they never, I don't know if they ever jumped in the chat. Andy Kelly.
Travel like a genomad.
Gnome.
Nomad. Okay.
Yeah, we never
talked about the gnome.
No,
well, we talked about it, but
allowed to.
No, we didn't. We had to. We threw his name out there to see if he was out there.
Andy Kelly from Floresville, Texas.
Yeah, it's ANDI.
Sent me this.
Very nice, by the way.
Look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at this.
Yeah. Haven't seen a gnome like that in about 20 years. It's beautiful.
And what's cool about it is these little sayings over here.
Mm-hmm.
She's got more than one.
Are Velcro.
Yeah, I got them right here.
This one comes off, and you can replace them
It's
with
like a gnome fortune cookie, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's quite crafty.
So, yeah, exactly. How good is this with the sphere there that you guys are never going to get to? That's awesome. This is as close as you're going to get to the sphere, though. Got it right there.
Look at this.
Look, oh, you're close. That's as close as you're going to get.
That's Damon at home in his pajamas.
There you go. Damon, you're out gnome bird.
It is really creative. Well done.
Yes.
I was wondering what was going on here. I got all the sayings in front of me.
We have all the sayings. Let's
you
go
want some
through.
of the sayings? Here
yeah.
we go.
Oh, Aaron, let's give the social media audience just a little sneak peek. Oh, look! Oh, come on.
Ooh.
I mean, is that fire
hot.
or is that fire?
That is hot.
It. Look at that, baby.
Yeah, a little edgy, hot, meaning it's got that feel.
Come on. Trump 47, estimate 225 to 228. Let's go.
Should it be 229?
No. 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 years, the presidency.
I'm going to wear that when I'm boxing.
2005, 2006, 2008. But he doesn't leave until 2009.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Because he gets into. Well, he got elected in 2004.
I understand.
24. So why does it say 24? 25.
Take office till 5.
And he doesn't leave office until 29.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Uh-oh. It's the new math, Rick, I believe it is. I'd like
2 plus 2 equals 5, Dave.
Buy an isosceles triangle if I could, please.
It's a good thing we don't print these things in bulk.
X equals 5.
Should it be 9? How can it be 225 to 229?
That's when he leaves.
Huh?
That's when
Technically, he leaves at 9.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29. 5 years? 6B, JD Vance was talking to Tucker Carlson about what these first months may look like. Here's what he said.
Trump's main campaign platforms, one of the main things that he talks about, and of course, I think he learned in some ways the hard way during his first 4 years in office, is the president recognizes that if you have people in your government who you tell to do something and they disobey you, that's not like checks and balances. They're part of your government. The check and balance is the House, the Senate, the judiciary,
Exactly.
right? If the people in your own government aren't obeying you, you have got to get rid of them and replace them with people who are responsive to what the president is trying to do. If you don't have that, you don't have a real democratic accountability.
Got to be a nut cutter because that's the system at stake.
That's right.
That's democratic control. How do voters have any control over their government if the people they elect have no control?
That's exactly right, man. And again, it's we have to sort of remind ourselves that it's real people who suffer because of this, right? There are Americans who are dead because the Joint Chiefs of Staff didn't listen to the President of the United States when he said you need to do troop redeployments out of Syria. There are veterans who are dead because the VA does not function as well as it could because the president needs to be able to fire, again, the small number of people who aren't doing their job. And that same story repeats itself, rinse and repeat through the entire American government. You have got to have basic democratic accountability. And I think, most Americans recognize, look, we're fine with, bureaucrats making a reasonable salary. We're fine with people having a good life, but they've got to do their job, right? When you're in public service, you've got to do your job. And whether you're an elected official or an unelected bureaucrat, if you're not doing your job, you got to get out there and make way for somebody who will.
So if you guys win and you start firing people who are acting against orders of their commander-in-chief and against the expressed will of voters, the New York Times will call it a fascist takeover.
That's exactly right.
So the question is, do you care?
Well, I think we have to not care. Now, you have to care about public opinion, of course, because you have to actually make the case to the American people.
But if you're acting on behalf of the public,
you have to say, look, it's what's so funny about it is it's the opposite, right? Real democracy is when the elected leaders the voters elect actually make the decisions in the government. Right. Fascism, if it's anything, it's that the voters don't get any say in how their government actually operates. So I think you have to do it. And look, man, I've been in politics all of 2 years, but there are all of these really subtle ways in which the media, the tech sector, the people who call the shots try to manipulate the American public and manipulate political leadership into not doing the things the American people actually want. So here, let me give you an example. Mark this down. I guarantee in 18 months or so, we're going to have, this is going to be prophetic. So right now, according to public opinion polling, 65% of Americans, give or take, support mass deportations, meaning 25 million people here, you've got to send some of them back to where they came from. Okay, that's a common sense issue. 2/3 of Americans, give or take, support it. In 18 months, there will be media stories and there will be public opinion polls to back it up that actually Americans do not support mass deportations, that Donald Trump is doing all of these terrible things and he has to stop. It's inhumane and it's evil and the American public don't support it. The same people who put those public opinion polls together are the same people who say, for example, that Donald Trump was going to lose Wisconsin by 17 points. Remember that? 3 days before the 2020 election, Donald Trump was supposed to lose Wisconsin by 17 points. And set to the side all of the debates about what happened in 2020, Wisconsin was basically a tied election. So these guys use public polls, they use the media, not even just to manipulate public opinion, but to manipulate our leadership about what public opinion actually says.
So how does that happen? So those polls are fake, is what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely, they're fake.
Yeah. I know, once we get into these administrations, most people say, oh, the vice president, you don't hear from him, you don't do anything. Boy, I think it would be a big mistake if we don't hear from him a lot.
Yeah.
He needs a big role.
Big.
And he will get one. This is just one smart dude.
Yeah, and when it comes to firing these people, I heard Bongino talking about this a few months back, where he said, once he gets in there, if he wins, and now that the fact is that he has won, he needs to, once he fires the first 10 people and the media starts freaking out, he needs to just, like he said, not care, and then fire another 100 more and send a message that we don't listen to you. Because he's right. They use the media to portray this fake public opinion, and then everybody freaks out in the government because they're like, oh, potential voters, I can't do this because then I won't get voted back in. that's another plus of this second Trump presidency.
Yeah.
He don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's the most important words I thought he said in that whole thing was, we just don't have to care because you can't. Then you become the Democratic Party. They care about every poll, every nuance, they're all changing. You can't do that now. You have to do the things that you say you're going to do, and you can't care about what the New York Times says. Please, you talk about the mainstream media.
Yeah,
that this is what we're talking about. The same people that have been lying to us for, at least since Obama got in office, maybe longer, as far as being hyper partisan. Vance is the guy.
And the funny thing is, you mentioned the New York Times.
I did. Shoot, I can't believe I did that. I mentioned Mark Cuban and then the New York Times twice today. This is insane.
But the New York Times and for the Democratic Party, the party of the working man doesn't read the New York Times.
That's right.
They don't care about the New York Times, and they don't read the New York Times. So to keep referencing, I saw this article in the New York Times. Guess what? Most Americans will never see it, don't care, and won't care. Just do the things that you said you were going to do to help them, as opposed to help your buddies, curry your favors and make sure you line your pockets while you try to get reelected.
You know what died on election night, besides the New York Times and the rest of them? Elitism. What Trump did, if you look at the type of voters that came through, this is the anti-elite party right now.
Yeah.
And the Democrats, if you think about the effect that's going to have on the Democrats, they're realizing, some of the smarter ones have been talking about this, we just forgot about our core. And we stuck with the elites and the hardcore progressives. The elites, they got wiped out. They should have no bearing on any of this. That's why the New York Times will become irrelevant soon enough to the mainstream voter. This is really important, not just for the Republicans, but the Democrats as well. Because frankly, if we're going to have a two-party system, and those two parties care about the bulk of the country, not a bunch of elites at the top 1% that are reading books and graduating from Yale and trying to set standards of things they have, and they're loaded, they're rich. Every one of these celebrities don't have any of the problems that the regular people have. That's why they can so easily talk about this stuff. It's better for the country. Now, I want Trump and the Republicans to always be in power, but if the Democrats ever do in 10, 20 years, if they ever get back in power, at least this dynamic has been dramatically shifted. And it's a really important thing for our country.
Yeah. Got some other stuff out from the president-elect's office, but we don't have time to play this one. But President Trump put another video out about a day one executive order that might be better than the video we just played, from at least what I can tell of it.
We got to see that.
But we'll do that when we get back at the top of the hour. Do you have a story there?
Yeah, I got something real quick. As you can tell, my face is a little cleaner today. As you can see that,
yeah,
I went to the bathroom and decided to take scissors and go to work.
Cents.
Cut number 11. I can take you through, and you can see it for yourself. The
process.
The process. Cut
Razor
number 11.
sharp.
Go.
Wow.
There it is.
Oh man.
Oh God.
This was all the buzz on social media.
Did he actually bother you today? No, this can't be you. This has got to be Delgado.
Fran did a masterful job.
Fran actually did this?
There you go.
That's
I
well
had
done.
about 30 seconds to throw it together.
Wow.
You look good there, Rick. You're looking
Good
good.
that liberal
See?
Nike T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I noticed that afterwards. I'm like,
Yeah, what's up with that?
You Libby. Nike. You going to Oregon?
Someone also wrote in, wants to know if Apple's paying you to put their logo on the computer. Attention. The logo comes on all the computers.
Yeah.
He didn't put it there. It's actually
But
on the computer.
There you
He's
go.
open for negotiation.
Yeah,
We'll take the money. We can use it.
All right, man, that's hour one already. Hour two coming up, live from Studio 6B.
Than they have all year.
Yeah.
They lost couple of their top guys. And they're playing better.
They're getting scrappy.
Yeah.
The Russian kid's playing good.
A Russian kid
he's a star. I think
he's a star.
Yeah, he might be a big
He's
player.
probably one of their best pickups. Reminds me of when the Rangers got Nemchinov.
Right.
And they
same kind of
same kind of guy. Bringing back some very old names.
Yeah, I mean, I
hockey.
like Patrick Roy. I hope he can pull it off. You know, let's see.
Patrick Roy, the French Canadian.
He was a great player. Tough guy.
Speaking of that,
Patrick
did anyone
Roy
see
was
Jean-Pierre?
she's still around?
Jean-Pierre. I heard she stomped out of the room today.
Oh, she had a fit.
Yeah?
She was being questioned by
She had a
Jackie Heinrich.
croissant
You have that
twisted?
clip? I didn't see it.
No, I didn't. It was a long clip. I didn't send it.
They asked her directly about, are we going to see riots? Is there going to be democracy's going to fall tomorrow? This is what they said. Trump's been elected. It's the next day. He said the next day democracy's going to fall. What's going on? What's your comment on that? And she just flew off the handle, as she does most of the time. That's why she does her hair that way. Stays in place. When she flies off the handle.
Did they call the Senate race in Pennsylvania for what's his name, or did he call it for himself?
Who?
McCormick.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
I heard it called, but I didn't realize it might have been him. Man, if they get 54 seats there, we keep the House. Looks like we're going to.
Well, we're 210-197 right now in the House.
There's
210-197.
I heard the stats on it while watching Brett Baer, and they're expecting the Democrats to win 12 of those seats, and the Republicans to win 13 of the remaining ones, or vice versa, because it's highly contested. Either way, the Republicans get control of the House.
I hope so. That's going to be very critical.
Anybody
That's
see any
all this
audience
impeachment
comments
crap.
about us not being on Dish right now?
No.
I saw one or two, something about Dish.
We're not on.
Okay.
We're not on Dish.
We're still on
I
Dish?
have a viewer that says that we're not coming out on his or their Dish. I don't know. I just don't know if it's individualized or if this is a.
I don't know anybody that has Dish, so I could call and ask.
So it looks like some are getting it and some aren't. So I don't know where the problem lies.
Oh, this is a good one.
It's definitely a Dish issue.
All right, let's get to some video here.
We got to see that Trump video.
I have that.
That was, that's fantastic.
I haven't seen
First
it.
one.
I haven't seen it.
Let's. We don't have time to do this one in the break.
Yes.
Slick has not recovered since Joe to box ball.
You are.
All right, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, hour 2. And just as we start hour 2, I look over and I see Eric Daughtry, who we followed all night on Tuesday night, says Donald Trump has dismissed Rick Scott for GOP leader, according to Axios. Could you pull up Axios to see if they have something?
Sure.
Quote, the vote will likely come down to Senator John Thune or John Cornyn of Texas.
Ugh.
Let's let it play out.
However, a Trump official pushed back on the reporting, saying Trump has not officially weighed in. Okay, well, let's please.
Well, it is
the last line
Axios.
Is correct.
It's Axios.
It's going to be one rumor after another.
Thune or Cornyn is dis, and the other one disaster. Put them together, disaster. Either one.
Nobody's worse than Mitch.
Yeah, it's here as the second big story on Axios. Weeks before the election, President-elect Trump privately dismissed Senator Rick Scott's leadership bid, telling allies it is not serious. Two sources familiar with what was said told Axios. So they're not giving you any sources. Sources familiar. So they really don't have anything.
That's nothing.
I mean, he has to know that Cornyn and Thune would be basically McConnell, just younger, light. McConnell light. Thune stood behind McConnell all this time.
Yeah.
Barrasso stood behind him all this time and let him do what he did for 10 years, which is screw us.
Yeah.
You can't end up with one of those two. And Cornyn, I mean, come on.
I have to say, with all that we've heard and all that's going on, I've got a lot of confidence that decision is going to turn out to be the right decision, and not those two guys. Somebody can actually get the job done. I don't think anybody was as frustrated with anyone in the Senate as Trump was with McConnell. Okay? McConnell led him down more paths that were not effective or productive. And same thing with Ryan. Where is Ryan, by the way? What happened to that guy? We should never hear from him again. The Speaker of the House, back when Trump
Paul
was
Ryan? Paul Ryan is on the board at Fox now. He's pulling Fox way over to the left.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
I wonder why they.
He and McConnell ruined that first. Even though Trump did a lot, they kind of ruined all the other good things he could do.
Yeah,
he had to have learned his lesson. Is my point, and I don't see him making a dumb decision with a position as important as that after being led astray by the turtle there, Mitch.
All right, let's. President Trump put out a second video today from the office of 47. Let's take a look at this.
Joe Biden has launched an illegal foreign invasion of our country, allowing a record number of illegal aliens to storm across our borders. From all over the world they came. Under Biden's current policies, even though these millions of illegal border crossers have entered the country unlawfully, all of their future children will become automatic U.S. citizens. Can you imagine? They'll be eligible for welfare, taxpayer-funded health care, the right to vote, chain migration, and countless other government benefits, many of which will also profit the illegal alien parents. This policy is a reward for breaking the laws of the United States and is obviously a magnet helping draw the flood of illegals across our borders. They come by the millions and millions and millions. They come from mental institutions. They come from jails, prisoners, some of the toughest, meanest people you'll ever see. The United States is among the only countries in the world that says that even if neither parent is a citizen nor even lawfully in the country, their future children are automatic citizens the moment the parents trespass onto our soil. As has been laid out by many scholars, this current policy is based on a historical myth and a willful misinterpretation of the law by the open borders advocates. There aren't that many of them around. It's amazing. Who wants this? Who wants to have prisoners coming into our country? Who wants to have people who are very sick coming into our country? People from mental institutions coming into our country? And come they will. They're coming by the thousands, by the tens of thousands. As part of my plan to secure the border on day one of my new term in office, I will sign an executive order making clear to federal agencies that under the correct interpretation of the law, going forward, the future children of illegal aliens will not receive automatic U.S. citizenship.
Wow, amazing.
It's things like this that bring millions of people to our country, and they enter our country illegally. My policy will choke off a major incentive for continued illegal immigration, deter more migrants from coming, and encourage many of the aliens Joe Biden has unlawfully let into our country to go back to their home countries. They must go back. Nobody could afford this. Nobody could do this. And even morally, it's so wrong. My order will also end their unfair practice known as birth tourism, where hundreds of thousands of people from all over the planet squat in hotels for their last few weeks of pregnancy to illegitimately and illegally obtain U.S. citizenship for the child, often to later exploit chain migration to jump the line and get green cards for themselves and their family members. It's a practice that's so horrible and so egregious, but we let it go forward. At least one parent will have to be a citizen or a legal resident in order to qualify. We will secure our borders and we will restore our sovereignty starting on day one. Our country will be great again. Our country will be a country again. We'll have borders. We'll have proper education, and we'll put America first. Thank you.
There you go.
That's powerful stuff.
There you go. Totally.
Powerful stuff. Logical stuff.
Yeah.
Common sense.
Put America first. How logical.
Yeah, I mean, it's common sense. You come in here, you're 6 months pregnant, you hang out for a couple of months, you have a child, they have citizenship, they're getting money. I mean, it's not the child's fault.
No.
You know, it's the system's fault. And they've created a system to exploit this, man. I have to say, he has listed everything. I mean, he's paying attention. We knew he was. You know, he has paid attention, and seeing him deliver on this stuff, they're going to scream holy murder, you know, on all these media outlets, but ignore him and keep plowing forward, right?
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I'll tell you who else is paying attention on the other side, and that is people like Bernie Sanders, who it's funny that it's coming from him first. And as you're starting to now slowly see even some semblance of taking a real hard look at what happened on Tuesday, Bernie Sanders put out a 3-page letter about why is it a surprise to our party that the working man and the working people of this country turned your back on you when you don't even speak to the working men and women of the country anymore. And then I saw this clip from CNN today. Julie, I think her name is Julie
Radzinsky. We have the clip here, too, as a matter of fact.
Do you have the entire clip?
Yeah. It's like 218? Yeah.
Fire that up, Aaron, if you have the clip.
Number 10.
Cut number 10. This was on CNN today. Listen to this.
You know, I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. We don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university, and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Shermichael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you. We appreciate what you say because you speak our language. And until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good luck with that, by the way, with this party at this point. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know if they're
Julie,
capable of it.
just come on over. Come on over.
Right.
She needs to swing.
That's your best way to get to the party of common sense.
Yep. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard said it well.
When you got the AOCs of the world still getting reelected in that party,
right?
That's who big. That's
your
who they're gonna
squad all
follow.
Gets reelected. Good luck.
Yeah, because the media is going to follow them because they make the most noise, and of course they're going to think, well, that's what the American people want. They want more AOCs. They don't. They're trying to tell you that, but you don't listen, which is fine by me. Don't listen, because that will push you further and further into obscurity.
Let's check in with the mainstream media and see how they're doing, and see if they've made any decision to look kind of inward after Tuesday, and see what they're deciding to do in their lives. Here's Nicole Wallace today.
Okay. I have this sort of insatiable interest in every bit of wisdom you can impart, and as a journalist, I hear you about girding ourselves for this moment. As a human, I deleted Twitter today as an act of self-preservation, and because I was no longer able to find the things I was interested in and was seeing a lot of things that I'm not.
As a human.
Yeah.
I deleted Twitter today.
Yeah, she's interplanetary.
An effort of self-preservation.
Obviously, she's not friends with Julie Radzinsky.
Yes.
Because that's not normal. That's not regular American, common sense stuff. As a matter of fact, common sense. It looks like at least one liberal, though.
Oh.
I think you'll be happy. One liberal has decided, I'm leaving the country.
Okay.
Because you know what? This is not the election I wanted the outcome of. He took a stand. He's following through. We actually have that cut.
Yeah.
It's cut number 9. Here is this liberal. I don't know his name, but he did announce he's leaving the country. And here it is for yourself. Check it out. Cut number 9.
Okay, so since Trump won the election, we're cooked. Yup. I'm gonna be leaving the U.S. and I'm gonna be moving to Hawaii. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll update you guys.
Come on.
Well, he's not that far off, Big D.
Come on.
Further proof.
That's got to be a comedian.
That liberals don't know anything.
Come on. That's
wow. Come on.
I got married in Hawaii 23 years ago today. 23 years ago today.
Come on.
I got married in another country. I didn't know it.
That guy knows what he's doing.
I'm a foreigner.
That guy knows what he's doing.
It's a foreign marriage.
Some of them on that side, man, are that thick, though. You never know. I was going to say Staten Island, but moving to Hawaii.
Italy.
Why not?
Oh, my God. That's a funny one right there, Rick.
That was good stuff. Good fun. Catholic church in Cuban.
Beautiful
My
place.
wife says, I don't care. I know we're getting married in Hawaii, but I'm getting married in a Catholic church, which we did. We met Father Sal Ragusa. The guy was
The big
visiting
ragu?
from Brooklyn.
Father Sal.
The big ragu.
He was visiting from Brooklyn. We thought we were getting the Hawaiian priest, which was
How
fine.
you doing? Do you slick take, what's your name over there?
He's talking about
Sliggy meatballs. Do you take a...
Well, needless to say, we still keep in touch. We still keep in touch with him to this day.
Maui's a special place.
Yes.
I mean, it really is a beautiful, special place. That's great that you
the karma there
you
is
got
incredible.
married there.
Yep,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, such a great vibe, you know?
Stunning wedding. The sushi would taste like it jumping off the
What about Sal? I mean, what was Sal doing?
Father Sal, we threw him in a limo. He came back with us.
people in the bed.
We were eating now. Father Sal was incredible.
Father Sal made some sauce.
We have a cannoli with some macadamia nuts.
He's still going, Father Sal. He's out in California now.
I like that. I just like the name, Father Sal. That's my father's name, you know. Sal.
Sal. Yeah, Father
how
Sal.
you doing?
How is Sal? Yeah.
How
That's
you
right.
doing? Yeah,
Hey.
Sal's a man.
I used to ask you that all the time. How's Sal doing?
Sal's the best. Sal's the best.
Father
Well,
Sally.
I'm sad to say that Sal passed away 3 years ago.
yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. But he had 91, had one of the best lives you can imagine. We had a 90th birthday party for him that was a blowout party. Tell me it was the best night of his life. So he
that's a great way
he
to
went
go
out with a bang and the way he wanted to go. So good man.
Happy anniversary, Slick. Everybody in the chat is
Thank you.
saying.
Yeah.
Man, it's amazing. 23 years feels
23
like
years.
Feels like 2 years.
We were asking, like, what the hell are you doing here tonight?
Well,
But,
no, we'll go out. We'll go for a nice dinner Saturday night. Listen, we travel. We
Because
had a great
Mrs.
life.
Slick said 23 is enough. Get out of here and go to work.
I think Slick's
Listen,
going to the
they
Wendy's
let me live there.
drive-thru.
Her and the birds, they let me live there. Believe me, I'm like
Slick said he's married 23 years, two of the best years of his life, he said.
that's right.
and they never had a fight.
Do you want to celebrate by doing the reads tonight?
Oh, come on.
That's a good one, Fran.
Why not?
I like it.
How many do I have here?
18.
2.
You'll be done Friday.
BG and
Aaron,
AM.
cue the crickets.
Didn't I do BG last
That's
night?
not going
too?
over
You
well.
did. You're doing it every night.
Oh, and then what's AM?
AMAC.
Okay, right there. I'll start with them. feeling like the blues on a Thursday as we move towards, well, now the election's over. And there's still a lot on the line, though, for Americans. That's why it's more important than ever to stay informed, stay involved, join a community that stands for your values, whether it's before the election or after the election. And that, of course, is AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. They're the leading conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. Members will receive a subscription to the AMAC magazine, exclusive discounts on a wide range of benefits, free resources, trusted news, and so much more. President Trump said he likes it, and he said, I think AMAC is great. Well, and he's absolutely right. AMAC stands strong for the issues that matter to you, securing the border, protecting Medicare, preserving the integrity of our elections. AMAC also fights to protect your freedom and sees that your voice is heard in Washington. Join AMAC today and be part of a movement that champions your values. Visit amac.us/Studio6B, amac.us/Studio6B, and become a member, and you can make a difference by doing that. amac.us/Studio6B. Like I said, whether it's before or after the election, make sure you stand with AMAC. Together, you'll protect America's future. Well, for those of you who are holding your breath for the past several months, now the election's over, you can exhale. Work can finally be done on the major issues this country is facing. Of course, one of the most significant is the national debt. The fact is, the nation is absolutely broke, and the debt is a house of cards that can't quickly be dismantled. And of course, the Federal Reserve today cut interest rates by another quarter point, but they say they will continue quantitative tightening on the balance sheet today. So the strategy remains the same. Diversify your savings. That's why you want to look at maybe buying gold from Birch Gold. So many things are out of your control, out of the president's control. It's important for you to have a safe havens for your savings. And that, of course, is the Birch Gold Group. They'll help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in physical gold. And the best news is it won't cost you a penny out of pocket to do it. Text America to 989898. Get your free information kit. Plus, right now, through Black Friday, you'll receive a free 1-ounce silver eagle for every $5,000 purchased. Protect your savings with Birch Gold. Text America to 989898 and claim your eligibility for free silver today. Text America to 989898. All right, 19 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Vinnie Mac is here. So, Vinnie, what else has been on your mind since the election? I can't imagine what your Facebook has been like. I just can't even imagine. Oh, my God.
It's been very entertaining, that's for sure. I mean, I've seen nonsense like, I guess the fix wasn't in this year and stupid stuff like that. But you know what's been on my mind today? Because there was a really good interview.
Before you get into that, though, isn't it funny that those who say, the fix wasn't in, and it's like they're actually saying, well, how did 20 million votes disappear? We can't figure this out. Trump's got to be cheating.
They must have stayed home.
like they don't even get that. It's like, welcome to 4 years ago. You're just seeing it in reverse.
Yeah.
Exactly. Too big to rig.
That's right. Too big to rig, and it worked that way. Hey, it was clearly one of the most honest elections we've had in a long time because we had our team out. They've had their team out.
Yep.
The Dems were out.
Oh, yeah.
They're out there checking, the lawyers, all the people in the polling stations, but we had our team too. Therefore, the checks and balances were there, and we had a pretty fair election. So, I think the numbers speak for themselves. But what I was looking at today with great interest was RFK. We've talked about some of these other people that are going to be helping the Trump administration, but RFK Jr., he was on MSNBC today. There was quite a few meltdowns going on with that conversation. Because Trump has told him you're going to be in charge of the of health reform. And so they're all freaking out about that. And I say to everybody out there, have you got a prescription drug recently? Have you gone to see the doctor recently? Have you made an insurance premium payment recently? And by the way, do you remember COVID? You remember the nonsense that went on and how we were completely misled through COVID? So here's a guy that's going to shake the leaves off the tree. And he basically said it. He said, look, Trump basically told me, do 3 things. End the corruption within the agencies that are so tied to the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry and all these industries that have lobbyists that they're paying huge amounts of money to do their dirty work behind the scenes and influence senators. And I think I've told Damon this many times. I work with a group that does this. I know how that system works. I do it for a different cause to help people in Africa to try and advocate for that. But it's the same thing. We hire lobbyists, we pay them a lot of money, and I go meet with senators and congressmen and try and influence them. Think about doing that with $50-60 million a pop. So he's going to clean up that corruption. That's a good thing for all of us. 2, he wants to restore the gold standard of our evidence-based medicine. Like this, we're not going to have these controversies of, take the vaccine, it's going to cure COVID. Oh, no, it doesn't cure it. But everybody's got to take it. All the nonsense we've gone through. Now we're going to get back to what he referred to as the gold standard of that. And then the third thing, he's talked about this many times, and any of us who just walk through a mall, go to a college campus, look at the streets and see the obesity and all the things that go on in our society right now with young people who are just not eating healthy, and the amount of diabetes that's an epidemic, the mental health epidemic, anxiety epidemic, all of these things and all of these sicknesses, he's going to take a good look at that and say, look, we want to get people healthy again. We're going to analyze chronic disease and see if we can help through various measures. So he's going to get 3 core things, and they are having a meltdown over this. And I don't understand the meltdown. These are 3 things we all can relate to, every one of these. And we have seen people who eat the foods that are processed here in this country and are not healthy and have similar diseases, cholesterol through the roof, heart disease through the roof, you name it, all of these things that we did not have problems with 20, 30 years ago, including the water. And then you look at the pharmaceutical industry and the health industry and the health insurance industry and how much power they have within Washington. And then you look at the agencies that they're supposed to manage all of this and the corruption, just the Fauci stuff we saw alone and the corruption that went on there. Hey, I can't wait till, I think I mentioned this to you, Damon, I can't wait till RFK and Rand Paul get together and have dinner and start talking about this stuff. Rand Paul, man, he earned so much of my respect because he put it out there. He was one of the only people, by the way, challenging any of this stuff. And RFK Jr., people have called him a little bit on the fringe, but I look at these 3 things, I say they're not fringe. This is logical. Things that are going to help every one of us. So that's been on my mind, and I'm pulling for RFK Jr. and give Trump credit. He's looking at a situation here, and he's given the keys to a guy that spent his life researching this stuff, like it or not. Researching this stuff and advocating for it. So big thing.
Hey, I see that President Trump elect looks like somebody reported that he has accepted the lunch invitation with President Biden. Did you see that today?
I heard about that. Yes.
That's been reported.
Did you think he should or should not accept that? It's a usual thing. President goes over, the elect president goes over and meets with the current president. What are your thoughts on that? Did you think about it at all? Because I did. And I thought maybe he should say no.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
I don't agree either.
Okay. Why?
I think it's show that you want to be unify, do something peaceful. Or you want to say, listen, the guy was a bum, we know that, but I still think it's the right
bum.
thing.
He wanted to throw you in jail for the rest of your life. He sicked his Department of Justice and his little minions after you to ruin your life, your kid's life, your wife's life, your anyone you were attached to's life, and now he wants to have lunch. And I mean, I'm not faulting the president for going. It's totally his decision. I don't think it's necessarily right or wrong. If I was advising him, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be a quick yes from me.
I'm on board with you, Damon. But then I'd stop and be like, you know what? This would be the ultimate FU to his face to show up being, guess what? You're out. You know what I mean? Just to kind of throw it in his face.
What do you think, Vance?
You tried everything and you lost.
I think you pose a good question here, and I totally understand your point of view. And I kind of go back to The Godfather. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
That's right.
I think by Trump accepting this, he's going in there and he's just saying, hey, let's talk it through, but you screwed me.
Yeah.
And let's make this happen, but I'm moving in with my sledgehammer and my bulldozer.
Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let Hunter off the hook.
That's what this is more about, probably.
Probably.
All right, 26 past the hour.
I beg your pardon.
Good stuff to talk about. Live from Studio 6B. We'll do more when we get back right after this.
You know, it's not such an unusual strategy for Trump to go into Biden and say, you know, all right, you want to clear the air? I need some things from you, Joe, that you're not going to want to give me.
All right, let me just, before you get into that, let me just tell, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, we had to stop the stream.
Uh-oh.
We have a guest coming up. We're going to be talking about vaccines and stuff, and we can't be having that. So we're going to, if you're watching on YouTube, everybody go over to X. Facebook, YouTube, head on over to X. And then we'll be, that's it. Just head over to X for the rest of the show.